From a young age, we are taught to always make sure nothing is driving when we cross the road. But this guy didn't care about that, which resulted in crashing into a car. Thankfully, he had a lot of luck, because after the car hit him, he just stood up and started picking up the remaining pieces of the scooter, like nothing happened. By the way, respect to this stoic guy, who for the entire incident moved only one step. But that's nothing compared to what happened with this woman. After almost getting hit by a tram, she didn't even turn around, and later, while crossing a road, she did it again. That's a great example of how fortune favors fools. At first, I thought this video was staged, because the guy looks right at the camera and shows a thumbs up, but by looking at the after crash reaction, I changed my mind. I'm curious how he explained this to his boss. In this case, if a guy had walked to the shop 4 seconds later, well, I don't want to know what could happen. Being drunk is always recognized with bad luck, but this guy, well, he has some important things to do, and ignores all distractions. When you're at such heights, it's better to double check that the line is hooked. This guy is so lucky that he placed the package and went to get something else instead of trying to open the door. That was close. A few seconds before the end of the round, this player decided to make a throw from the other side of the field, which he achieved. What's more, pay attention to how perfectly the ball flies into the basket.
Distance, major. 3G almost.
Due to driving at high speed and suddenly braking before the intersection, the motorcyclist fell out of the motorcycle and was almost hit by a car. Fortunately, the car was traveling a few meters away and did not even touch the motorcyclist. During the World Champions in dart throwing, at first it looked like a guy had missed, but it turned out the dart was touching the middle. The reaction to this was golden.
No, it's not touching, I don't think it is. Oh, it is! He's got the extra 50!
This child was playing cricket and after hitting the ball, it came back to the exact same place. What are the chances of this happening? Fate was probably trying to tell this guy not to drink so much Coke, and it did so gently. This guy at first had bad luck as he dropped the baguette on the floor, but then he kicked it and it landed perfectly in the trash can. These two friends were jokingly fighting on the street, but then, the greatest UFC fighter in history, Conor McGregor, showed up in his car. The two immediately stopped fighting and went to have a high five with him. This woman accidentally threw the bowling ball to a different lane, but the ball bounced back to the correct lane and returned right into the woman's hands. What would you call this trick? Write in the comment section down below. This guy was driving on the highway behind the unprotected truck, and suddenly the styrofoam fell out, but somehow it went back in place. And the best part is that it happened twice, and it also went back to the same place again. This one is very scary. This grandpa probably used all of the luck in his life at this moment. While this guy was tired of waiting for free roads so long, he decided to take a risk. But maybe it wasn't luck and he's just good at maths. These two guys were casually walking down the street, but suddenly a car hit a fence, almost smashing the boys. I have no idea what happened there, but the owner of the car seemed shocked too. This guy was driving behind a truck that was carrying a monster truck that hit the bridge 3 times. Luckily, the monster truck didn't fall on the driver behind. This guy was running away from the cops, but he decided to take a risk and hide behind the truck. The police didn't notice and drove on, while the guy ran in the opposite direction. This is why you should always make sure when getting out of your car. That was so lucky. But still, this is one of the luckiest men I've ever seen in my life. He accidentally avoided being hit by a brick because he felt uncomfortable in this position. This guy may have lost money because he missed the basket, but he won the consolation prize. This guy just did some epic certificated moments and acted like it was nothing. These two skaters were extremely lucky. They crossed the finish line at the same time. At first, the judges had a dilemma.
Wow! That might be a tie. Will we have 2 gold medals? Or there will be a way to break the tie. That's gonna be an interesting one.
But in the end, they decided to award 2 gold medals. This guy almost fell off the obstacle course, but he managed to smoothly come back with a great style. This waiter almost broke a lot of plates, but he managed to save the situation. This footballer scored a goal with a bicycle kick from over 30 meters. For sure, that is one of the luckiest and skillful goals in history.
Guy against all of the English teams in the Champions League over the year. But I think in witnessing that, you've just seen something very, very incredible goal. Because as soon as Joe Hart does that, I'll tell you what, now he's already thinking, I'm going for this. Bang! Fabulous athleticism.
This guy was putting things in his car. Probably he couldn't take them all at once, so he went back to get the rest. But thanks to this, he avoided being struck by lightning. His reaction says everything. Running across the road like a wild animal is a terrible idea. Here's why. This guy almost fell down with the ground, but despite his luckiness, he seems unfazed. This case is similar, but here there is a mother with a child, and we are dealing with a bigger collapse of the earth. This mechanic had a good reaction and a lot of luck. That was close. This golfer initially missed a shot, but in the end, the ball bounced off the second missed ball, resulting in hitting the hole.
And that's hard to do with an assist. That's a good looking card.
These two delivery guys were extremely lucky. Two lucky situations happened at the same time. All it would take is the first guy to stay on the scooter for a few seconds more and the second one to stand 2 steps away, and it would have been a disaster. A few seconds before the end of the round, these two basketball players did something incredibly satisfying.
Got it!
I'm curious on how much of the percentage of it was luck and skill in this situation. This guy decided to record a tornado, but unexpectedly, nature decided to give him a gift in the form of a twig. And lastly, look how this guy landed perfectly on the roof of the car.